Now we're going to do another case with two genes that are linked to one another, but we're actually going to throw in another independently segregating gene. So what I want you to do is I'm just going to tell you right now that the genes are linked, and we're going to have, similar to what we just had, we're going to be little a, big B, and then big A, little b, okay? And then this individual also has another chromosome, which is big C, little c. And what I'm going to ask you to do is tell me what are all the gametes that this individual can produce. And usually you can tell what the gametes are by crossing through a test cross scheme that we've already done to an individual with known recessive alleles. But let's not worry about that. Let's just say what are the gametes that this individual can produce. And this ties back to an earlier module. And we're going to ask what are the frequencies, okay? And we're going to say that this is 10 centimorgans. Okay. Let's enumerate all the possible ones. Okay. Well, one is to just enumerate the 4 different particular combinations that can arise out of here. The parentals, little a, big B, okay, big A, little d, all right. And then we can also imagine there's the recombinants, so these are the parentals, okay. Then there's also the recombinants, which are little a, little b, and then big A, big B, okay? But that's just for this set, okay? You can also imagine that, well, this whole set can either be also paired up with in the gamete with the big C allele, little c allele. So you can say this, 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 those are big C, but then you can recapitulate the same set, the parental class and the recombinant class. Okay, little a, big B, big A, little b, okay, and then little a, little b, and then big A, big B. Okay, and now with little c alleles. Okay. Now what's the relative abundance of these to these? Well, in a whole set, all that matters of these to these is big C or little c, so these ones will be in equal abundance. Now what we want to know is we want to actually demonstrate the expected frequency for each one of these. Okay, so this is, if you think about this, 8 possible gametes that this individual can produce. Okay, we said that there's 10 centimorgans. So conditioning on this having inherit the gametes carrying big C here, what's the proportion? Well, these are sort of what we've already been doing. The recombinant class will be 10%, okay, and the parental class will be 90%. Okay, well let's use frequency, 0.9 or 0.1, okay? But you could either be of this type of recombinant or this type of recombinant, so the frequency here will be 0.05, likewise here 0.05, and then 0.45 and 0.45 is a frequency of just this set, okay? And it's the same here, right? 0.45, 0.45, 0.05, 0.05, okay? Now, if we want to get the full frequencies for these gametes, we need to now multiply the probability that this actually does become associated with the big allele, and that's half, right? So this then would be equal to 0.45 times 0.5, 0.45 times 0.5, 0.05 times 0.5, 0.05 times 0.5, and the same thing again, 0.45 times 0.5, 0.45 times 0.5, 0.05 times 0.5, and 0.05 times 0.5. So let's add these, sort of multiply these out. So what is this? This is equal to 0.225, 0.225, okay? And then this would be the same thing. These are, of course, expected frequencies, 0.025, okay, 0.025. Is this correct? I hope it is. Yeah, it is. And then 0.225, 0.225, 0.025, and then 0.025. Okay, so, of course, these better add up to 1. I believe they do. Now these are frequencies, but remember, real data might look like something like this. So if you had 1,000 of these types of progeny, you might get data that looks something like this. You know, this could be 220, and this could be 230, and this could be, you know, 21, and you know, so on and so forth. 19, 238, 220, okay, 200, 27 and 30 or something like that. Okay, so that might be what real data is, and then to actually calculate the frequencies. Now the next problem, we're actually going to take data for like this, okay, and calculate the genetic distance, and we're going to have to sort of think about how you tease apart from genetic data like this the alleles, the sort of loci that are linked from the loci that are independently segregating.